Shut up and sit down.
What's the story, Internet? What's the story, Internet? Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Hope you're all ready for another weekend jam-packed full of football. Now, I'm going to preface this with the fact that there's not too many huge matches around the rest of the leagues. I just want to touch on a couple of them just to mention them. So, in La Liga, as I mentioned in my previous video, it's very close at the top. So, Real Madrid have Real Betis, Barcelona have Villarreal, and it's the battle of the Athletic Club versus Atletico Madrid. So that one is probably the most high profile. Oh no, tell a lie. Real Madrid versus Betis, because they're very close in the table. It's second against sixth, so that's probably the one to watch out for there. In the Bundesliga, the only big one is Wolfsburg versus Dortmund. That is third against fifth. There's 5 points difference, so if Dortmund win this, put them very close. Put them a point behind Eintracht Frankfurt, depending on their result. But other than that, there's no like big derby matches or anything like that. So I'm going to go through the 8 matches in the Premier League and then talk about the League Cup final. And that's why there's only 8 matches, because there's the 2 teams in the Cup final, means that they can't play their matches. So you know what I'm saying. So starting tomorrow, we have Arsenal versus Everton. So Arsenal will, and well, both teams really will be trying to keep their hopes alive to get into Europe. It's looking like Everton have the better of the opportunities of the two, but even so, I think this is just a pride match. And the way that both teams have been playing recently, let's have a look at Arsenal's last couple of fixtures. They drew with Fulham over the weekend, and then beat Sheffield United before that. And then lost to Liverpool, and then drew to West Ham. So a bit of a mixed bag for Arsenal. Everton, if I remember correctly, have just been all over the place. Drew 2-2 with Tottenham, drew 0-0 with Brighton, drew 1-1 with Palace, lost 2-0 to City, lost 2-1 to Burnley, lost 2-0 to Chelsea, beat West Brom 1-0. So Everton could really do with getting back to the form that they were in earlier in the season. I'm going to predict another draw. I think that's all that we can say is a 1-1, 2-1, something like that. Moving into Saturday, we have Liverpool versus Newcastle. Liverpool would probably like to come back from the draw with Leeds. However, Newcastle have been performing very well recently. Against all odds, Steve Bruce has turned it around completely. Since the loss to Chelsea, the 2-0 loss to Chelsea, 3-1 to Manchester United. They've drawn with Wolves, drawn with West Brom, drawn with Aston Villa. They did lose to Brighton, but then they drew with Spurs, beat Burnley, and beat West Ham. So if I was Liverpool, I'd be a little bit worried to play a team that's so in form at the moment. So I'm actually, and I know it's a bit boring because I just predicted a draw in the other match, but I'm going to predict another draw. I think it's going to be a 2-2. I think Newcastle score first, then Liverpool come back, then Newcastle score in, say, the 87th, 88th minute. And that would not be good for Liverpool. It would give Everton a chance to catch up. It would give Arsenal a chance to catch up. And it would put them further back from the pack when they do have the opportunity to overtake Tottenham. So, moving into the next one, London derby, West Ham versus Chelsea. West Ham are performing very well. Chelsea drew earlier this week against Brighton, so they'll want to exercise that, especially prior to the Champions League. They'll want to get in as good a form as they can before the Champions League. And West Ham will want to recover from that loss to Newcastle, and especially against such a big rival. These are the big rivals for West Ham. Obviously, it's big rivalry for Chelsea, but they've in recent years been embroiled more with Arsenal, Manchester United and the like. So an important match to them, but not as important as it is for West Ham to beat Chelsea. Sheffield United versus Brighton. Unfortunately, Sheffield United were confirmed to be relegated last weekend, so they have nothing to play for. I have a friend who's a Sheffield United fan, and I agree with him. They should just put out the academy players and let them have a run out. What do they have to lose? They're already relegated. Might as well and give the prospective new manager something to think about. So yeah, Brighton. Brighton could do with a win here to keep them away from Fulham, although Fulham are on a game more played than Brighton and Burnley. So Burnley are 6 points ahead of Fulham, Brighton are 7 points ahead of Fulham. I don't think they have too much to worry about unless West Brom catch up. So we'll see what Big Sam can pull out of the bag. Moving on to Sunday, the aforementioned Burnley are playing Wolves. So it should be a tough match for them, but Wolves have been very unpredictable. Every week I feel like I look at their results because they're just so all over the bloody place. They beat Sheffield, they beat Sheffield United, they beat Fulham, lost to West Ham, lost to Liverpool, drew with Aston Villa, lost to City, drew with Newcastle, beat Leeds. It's like they're all over the place, beat Southampton, and then lost to Southampton in the FA Cup. It's like, make up your mind. So beat Arsenal, drew with Leicester. So it depends on which Wolves shows up. Is it the one that beat Arsenal, or is it the one that got absolutely blown out by City? So Burnley will have the more to fight for because they'll want to put that space between them and Fulham in the relegation battle. Wolves are just sort of settled where they are. They're in 12th place, 41 points, not in danger of being dragged into a relegation battle. They are where they are, and just bring on next season, really. So, next match, Leeds United versus Manchester United. Manchester United will be hoping for a performance similar to when we played them earlier in the season. Memory serves, it was 6-2. It was either 5-2 or 6-2. So we'll be hoping for another one of those sorts of results. This is also a possibility to keep the pressure on City by getting the 3 points, and that would mean that we were 8 points behind them, and so yeah, just continue the pressure in the run-in for the final. It's like the 2012 season all over again. Who can we have that would have an Aguero moment? Cavani! So we'll have to hope for that. So yeah, and then moving on to the next match is Aston Villa versus West Brom. West Brom will be desperate to win this to keep the pressure on the likes of Burnley, Brighton and Fulham. Aston Villa in a similar sort of position to Wolves. They're in 11th. They are where they are. Yes, they could catch up to Arsenal and Everton, maybe Liverpool if they fell apart, but I think they are where they are, and they should just try and keep the momentum going so that next season they can keep going even further. So, but West Brom need the points. If they did win against Aston Villa, it would put them level on points with Fulham and make it very interesting going into the final stretch. So we'll have to see how that goes. And then Leicester City versus Crystal Palace. Leicester City did just win 3-0 against the aforementioned West Brom, so they'll be full of confidence. Crystal Palace last time out, let's see what happened to them. Where even were they? I can't see them playing. Oh, they lost 4-1 to Chelsea. So they'll want to recover from that and see if they can build on a positive season. But, and I hate to be a broken record, but they're in the same position as Aston Villa and Wolves. They are where they are, not really in danger of being pulled into the relegation battle. I mean, it's a possibility because they're on 38 points, but they have 2 games in hand. It's very unlikely. So it's more important for Leicester to keep the pressure on Chelsea and West Ham to see if they can get into the Champions League ahead of them. So we'll have to see what happens there. Should be very interesting because both teams have something to fight for. So, and then the final match is the League Cup final. Manchester City versus Tottenham Hotspur. If Tottenham win, it will be their first trophy since the 98-99 season. And this is coming from transfermarkt.us, which I've used their website before, they're pretty reliable. And funnily enough, the last time they won, it was the League Cup. So could they do a repeat 22 years later? We'll have to see. So it will be funny if Ryan Mason gets them a trophy where Jose Mourinho, Pochettino, Harry Redknapp, and the rest of them all failed to do so. It'll be crazy if that happens. So this will be the best result for them since I'm trying to think of which season it was, but there was a season where they made it to they made it really far in the Europa League, and Gareth Bale went on that incredible run, did crazy things against Inter Milan, and they made it to the semi-finals or the finals. It was either 2011, 2012, something like that. It'll be the best result for them in a long, long time if they can get this trophy here, and the trophy cabinet won't be so barren, and Arsenal won't be able to make fun of them as much. So, so that is. Let's have a look when that final is Sunday. So keep an eye out for that one. I'm just going to see if I can find the channel for that one before I go into the Premier League channels. So that will be on ESPN Plus. So you have to have an ESPN Plus subscription, which is a bit of a pain. I do have that, so I'll see if I can watch it as long as it's not on at the same time as the Manchester United match, because I'm sorry, but priorities. I'm not waking up early to watch City play, I'm afraid. So let's go through the channels for the Premier League. Friday's match, Arsenal versus Everton, is on NBCSN. Saturday, Liverpool versus Newcastle is on Peacock. West Ham versus Chelsea is on NBC proper, so that's a big thing since it's a rivalry. Sheffield United versus Brighton is also on Peacock. Wolves versus Burnley and Leeds versus Manchester United are both on NBCSN. And then Aston Villa versus West Brom is on Peacock. And on Monday, Leicester City versus Crystal Palace is on Peacock. So that will do it from me. I hope you all enjoy the weekend's football. If you are a Tottenham fan, then best of luck. Hopefully this will be the final nail in the coffin for Manchester City's quadruple, since they did lose to Chelsea and get knocked out of the FA Cup. So that'll be nice as a Manchester United fan. So, but in the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe, keeping out of trouble. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And until Monday, ta-ra.